There's something I noticed with Miné at Keurbooms River that made me think about our relationship with God. She was walking ahead of me, exploring on her own, doing what little children do. But every now and then she would turn around and check where I was. And I noticed something interesting. When I stayed close to her, she walked faster. She was more confident. She moved with freedom. But when I hid away a little bit, or when she couldn't immediately see me, she slowed down. She became unsure. She started looking around more carefully. And that hit me. Because I think we are exactly like that with God. Miné was not confident because she knew everything about the river. She was not confident because she understood every danger around her. She was confident because she knew her father was close. She knew I was watching. She knew that if something happened, I was there. And that is such a picture of how we are meant to walk with God. Our confidence should not come from thinking we have everything under control. Our confidence should come from knowing that we are close to the Father. I think sometimes we want God's protection, but we do not want His presence. We want Him to rescue us, guide us, bless us, and watch over us. But we still want to walk wherever we want, at whatever pace we want, in whatever direction we want. But the Christian life is not just about asking God to bless our path. It is about walking close enough to Him that He can guide the path. Proverbs 3 says, we must trust in the Lord with all our heart and not lean on our own understanding. That means I should not just ask, God, please protect me while I go where I want. I should also ask, Father, am I still walking where you want me to walk? When we stay close to God, we can move with more confidence. Not arrogance, not pride, not because life will always be easy, but because we know we are walking under His watch, His authority, and His approval. There is a different kind of peace when you know I'm not walking alone here. Psalm 23 says, even though I walk through the valley, I will fear no evil because you are with me. The comfort is not that the valley disappears. The comfort is that the Father is with us in the valley. But then something else happened. At one point, Miné ran a little bit ahead of me. I was still there. I was still watching. I was not far away. I was just strolling behind her. But she moved ahead and suddenly she fell into a sinkhole. And immediately she started calling for me. I ran to her straight away. But by the time I got there, she had already sunk halfway into the hole. She was dirty, stuck, and scared. And honestly, that is also such a picture of us. Sometimes we run ahead of God, but we are not necessarily trying to reject Him. We are not always being rebellious in an obvious way. Sometimes we are just impatient. Sometimes we are excited. Sometimes we think we know the way. Sometimes we stop checking where the Father is. And before we know it, we step into something we did not see coming. But this is the part I do not want to miss. When Miné called, I came. I did not stand there and say, well, you should have stayed closer. I did not first give her a lecture while she was stuck. I ran to her. I helped her. I pulled her out. Yes, she was dirty. Yes, she had consequences from falling in. But she was not abandoned. And I think that is such a beautiful picture of God's mercy. There are situations we get ourselves into. There are holes we fall into because we ran ahead, ignored wisdom, or stopped looking back to the Father. But when we call on Him, He is merciful. Matthew 14 gives us a similar picture with Peter. Peter starts sinking, and he cries out, Lord, save me. And Jesus immediately reaches out His hand. That is the heart of the Father. He does not love us only when we walk perfectly. He loves us enough to guide us, warn us, correct us, and rescue us when we call. But we should not confuse rescue with permission. Just because God can pull us out does not mean we should keep running into danger. A loving Father doesn't say, go wherever you want, fall into whatever you want, and I will just keep pulling you out. A loving Father says, stay close to me, not because I want to control you, but because I can see things you cannot see. God's boundaries are not there to steal our freedom. They are there so we can walk in freedom without destroying ourselves. As fathers, this also challenges us. Because our children learn something about safety, protection, and guidance through the way we father them. When our children know we are present, they become more secure. When they know we are watching, they explore with more confidence. When they know we will come when they call, they learn trust. And maybe that is part of our calling as fathers. To reflect on the Father's heart, to be close enough to guide, present enough to protect, loving enough to rescue, and wise enough to teach them not to keep running into the same holes. So maybe the question is not only, is God watching over me? Maybe the question is also, am I staying close to Him? Am I regularly looking back to the Father? Am I moving at His pace? Am I walking in His direction? Or have I run ahead and only started calling now because I am stuck? And if that is you, call on Him. Do not stay in the hole because you are ashamed that you fell in. Call on the Father. But once He pulls you out, do not just run ahead again. Stay close. Walk with Him. Trust His pace. Trust His presence. Trust His protection. Because the child walks differently when they know their Father is close. And we were never meant to walk through life far away from ours. Stay close to the Father.